The great ship Titanic sank below the freezing waters of the North Atlantic at 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912. There were 1,500 people still on board. Unsinkable Women is an extraordinary new play about the women who survived that night. Their stories of their time on the ship and their lives afterwards are created and performed by the distinguished American actress Deborah Jean Templin.
My name is Deborah Jean Templin, and I came from America's heartland 25 years ago to New York City to pursue my life as an actress. Today, I live in Lower Manhattan, not far from Pier 54, where in 1912, the survivors of the Titanic disaster began a new chapter in their lives. This is my tribute to these women.
When I was a girl, I lived in Leadville, Colorado. Spent my nights starring in my own penny shows. Well, what I did was sing a few songs, recite a few poems, and all the while I was out there performing, I'd be on the lookout for a real rich husband. And I found myself one, too. J.J. Brown discovered silver in them mines. We bought a big house in Denver's chic Capitol Hill neighborhood. Oh, we had lots of parties, big parties, with lots of people, including royalty. Of course, that wasn't JJ's cup of tea. While I covered my walls in pure gold, he decorated his study in Indian blankets. We had our differences. So, at the age of 44, I was traveling back on the Titanic alone. Of the crew, few of the victualling staff, cooks, pantrymen, plate washers, reached the lifeboats. None of the bellboys survived. None of them was even 14 years of age. They never played shuffleboard, but they helped others too. They polished the crystal glasses and poured drink and cut off the tips of the gentlemen's cigars. The boys didn't go to the lifeboats because when they heard women and children first, they viewed themselves as men.
At home in Philadelphia, we were known as a family of collectors. My son, Harry, the Harvard man, not only bought rare volumes, he actually read them. On that last trip to Europe together, he purchased one of the last remaining copies of Francis Bacon's essays. Just as the Titanic sank, with all the men still on board, he said to me, "Mother, I've placed the volume in my pocket. The little Bacon goes with me." My husband, George, twisted a ring from his finger and placed it in my hand just as I was stepping into the lifeboat. I respected George, honored him. He was a good man. But Harry, so handsome and bright-eyed and clever, he shared his books with me. We were conspirators, he and I, mother and son, so like mothers and sons. So, a loss like that, you go on.
Everybody said I did something big, saving the lifeboat. I fought and kicked and scraped all my life and had a fine time doing it. Especially didn't seem like much in the years and months that followed, as I kept up with my friends and the other women who got out that night. Madeline Astor. Madeline turned her back on Newport, turned her back on all that money, that family. Isn't easy now, wasn't easy then, but she did it to find her happiness. Violet Jessup, she could have stayed home, done something else, but she went back to those ships, served as a stewardess for the rest of her days to keep faith with the friends she lost on the Titanic. Daisy Spedden, she wrote that children's book,
The kids are still reading today. And Eleanor Widener quit sipping tea and built that library at Harvard. As for me, I was damned if I wasn't going to do something to set the world right. I fought for the rights of women, children, mine workers, and others who were trying to find their voice. And when we got the right to vote, I was one of the first women to run for the United States Senate. I didn't make it, but others did. You can't be looking down. You gotta keep looking up. Maestro. En présent tout le monde rejuvenesce les plus profonds.
Unsinkable Women, starring Deborah Jean Templin, winner of the Richard Burton Award in Acting. Unsinkable Women, their stories, vivid and moving, are a rousing tribute to the human spirit. Unsinkable Women,